All right, so Barack Obama's Homeland Security Secretary is for pushing back that deadline, even though he realizes that any deadline attached to any part of that calendar is going to itself incite a target. Nevertheless, my next guest, Congressman Tom Malinowski of the state of New Jersey, part of the Problem Solvers Caucus, was among those saying, you know what, we should push it back. We should extend that August 31st deadline. Congressman, good to have you now. Congress, that was prior to today's twin bombing incident. I'm just wondering whether you still feel that way or all the more that way.
So I publicly called on the president to extend the deadline. As you know, many Democrats and Republicans did, because we did not think that there was any way we could possibly keep our promise if we kept to that deadline. The problem right now is not the August 31st deadline, though. The problem right now is that ISIS is setting up bombs at the gate. And, you know, whoever the president is, whoever the president would be today, their first obligation has got to be to protect our men and women at that airfield. The brave Marines who have been trying with such courage to help people, the State Department personnel who have been working with such incredible dedication. We've lost at least 12. And so deadline or no deadline, that would be the main thing we would have to struggle with right now. I hope that it's still possible to bring in more people. I'm glad that this did not happen a week ago, because at least we were able to get 100,000 people out. But obviously, this is the first thing that the president has to consider now.
If he doesn't, Congressman, move that deadline back, if he sticks to the 31st, not everyone's going to get out. And he's going to have to wrestle with that. The country will have to wrestle with that. What will you think if that's the case?
Well, again, the practical, I'm just focused on the practical problems. I've been trying to get people out. I had a group of about 20 people that I was trying to help that had gotten through the Taliban checkpoints. They were at the gate, the same gate where this bomb was set off. Unfortunately, they weren't hurt, but of course they had to go back. And so the practical challenge is, if ISIS is setting up bombs, how do you bring people into the airfield safely for those people, for our citizens, for our Marines who have to man those checkpoints? If there's a way to do it, I want to keep doing it, but I'm not going to stand here and say to the president, to our military commanders, you have to do this regardless of the risk. Now, here's what I'm saying to the Afghans that I've been talking to, who are desperate to get out. This is terrible, but it's not the end of hope, because there are multiple avenues to get out of Afghanistan. I don't want to get into this too much for obvious reasons, but we have friends who have been helping us to get people securely to the airport. There are ways to keep this airport in operation even if our troops leave. There are other pathways. Secretary Blinken yesterday said, I think with genuine conviction, that the deadline for evacuating people is not August 31st. The deadline does not end when our troops leave. I'm going to hold him to that. But I think that's
Congressman,
where this
thank you very much. I understand, sir. I appreciate that. Tom Malinowski, New Jersey Democrat, House Problem Solvers Caucus.